Good afternoon, guys. We're gonna try this one more time since this morning's video was interrupted about 55 times. Let's try it again. Today I'm gonna show you how to make this resin end. So here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need your loom bracelet, whatever size it is. Okay. 1 second. And I'm back. Okay. So I said we're gonna need the bracelet. You're gonna need these endings tubes that you have, or you can do it without. I'll show you next time how to do it without. You're gonna need a UV lamp. Now I bought mine from nails department. Okay, there are a few types. I have a fairly large one which has about, you see, many lights inside. If you're not a frequent user, get a smaller one. There's so many today. Just pick one that is more comfortable for you to use and it's in your budget. Okay, again, you're gonna need UV resin. I'm sorry, it says hard. Okay, make sure it's the transparent one. If you buy from China, be careful. The ones you buy, they're not always transparent. There's some opaque ones and it's not gonna look that good. So buy the transparent. Make sure it's transparent. If you're not certain, buy from a local store where you're sure that the resin is transparent. You don't need to buy a lot because you're never going to use that much quantity. Just buy small ones. These are the smallest ones that they have. Just buy one of these and make sure you keep it in a dark place. Okay, you're gonna need a zapper. If you have one, it's good. If not, we'll figure you're gonna need one because it's gonna help you with the endings. You're gonna need a good scissors. That's up to you. One of these which has here, like, you see, this is plastic and it won't scratch the metal. Okay, this is also a nail brush, but I use it to spread. It's a silicone nail brush. These parts are silicone, you see, and they help when you have to arrange the resin. Okay, where you're gonna need a silicone mat. When you work with resin, it can sometimes drip and it will get harder to the surface that it fell on. If it's a table or something, you don't want to destroy your own table. So these mats are fairly cheap and they'll last you a long time. I have this one for many years. I've used it on so many things. I also use it when I use hot wax and it's fine. It doesn't get destroyed or anything. And that's about it. Now, as you can see, I raised my UV lamp. Since it's small, okay, this is what happens when you put it here. You don't want your hand to touch a little bit over by accident. Okay, so this is why I raised it on two Scotch tape rolls, so it's a little higher, especially when I have also other ones, and I'm also bigger things that I use. Just remember, doesn't matter, just make sure it's a little bit raised and it will help you. Sometimes, let's see, we have this, but I'm sorry for the movement. Let's say, well, I'm short. I don't know, you didn't buy the correct size, you forgot, but still want to attach it because you just want to make sure you want to finish it. So you'll be like, okay, if you have it small, make sure that you add another row of your delicas, okay, whatever you're using, but make sure that it's center. It means that you left same equal space on both sides, and you add this. Now when you take it off, I have 5 rows which I go through them again and again and again with the thread to make sure that nothing just sits on the outside or for any occasion. Now, you don't cut the threads until you add the resin. What you do right now is you're going to come on 1, 2, and this little row, and you're going to add your resin, not in huge quantities, but enough for it to sip to the threads inside. You're going to do this on both sides. Why both sides? The beads are not transparent. You can't see through them. UV LED light works. It needs something transparent to see through it. Okay, if it doesn't get to see through it, it will not dry it. Or so this is why it's not going to work if you have it from both sides. Also, it will just smear if you have it from both sides. You see this side? Okay, 2 rows, that's it. This is fairly strong. It will break like any other plastic or glass will break. So let's get started. We are gonna have to make this, but I will have to move the camera because I'm not comfortable working like this. Okay, hold on. Yes, you will be moved a lot. Okay. Now, if you need glasses or something extra, put them on. When you work on this, I'm sorry that it moves a lot. Okay, make sure that everything sits properly. You see, beads are not all sitting like crazy in anywhere. Okay, just properly. You would like, after you took it off from the loom, make sure that it's straight. Okay, make sure that it's straight. Now we're gonna add, you see, when you buy them, hold on, it has a pretty little tip. There are ones which you can be even finer tip. The finer the tip, the better it, the less resin comes out and the less mess you're gonna make, and the more accurate what you're gonna do is gonna be. Okay, so let's spread some resin. Not a lot. We're not going for the whole big cover. Okay. You haven't added enough tube. But when you look at it, you see, there is a little bit of something. Now, I would recommend a little bit of cleaning here between the white one, because you're gonna have that slide tube. It will slide regardless if you open it well enough. Okay, now let's cure it. When curing, a good and important part of curing is, don't go for the fast heat one, because when it's fast, it will just contort it. It will just make it like this and not keep it straight. If you go on low heat, it will keep it straight. It will dry it straight. That's what you want. Straight. Everything should be straight. Okay, I usually put the pen inside. This is why it dries out the resin and cleans it out. Another important one is, like, once you want to turn on your light, you make sure that this is completely closed, otherwise it will dry up. And these types do not dry in the sun. There are ones that dry in the sun, but those ones actually you don't have time to work with since your pieces are small. Okay, and you can't let it sit for a huge amount of time because it will not sit properly on this part of the end. So this is why we're using the lamp and not the regular one. These ones, do they smell? Yes, but not that bad. And the amount of resin that you're using is not industrial. It's a few drops, because you're not pouring all over this. You're pouring in certain space, a small space, like 2 rows. That's it. To make sure that the threads that go like this, okay, do not fall out. This is all that you're doing. Okay. Now, and we're gonna do the same to the other side because we did one side. Now, as you can see, it dried out, and you can take the resin out. That's why there's no point in you cleaning it while it's wet. None. Trust me when I say do it while it's dry. It just slips off. And now to the other side. What this is doing is making sure that your threads, the ones that you have here, the ones like this, are not going to fall off or are not going to be problematic. Because this is why we're doing this. Why did I do this? Because everybody asked me, why did you do this? Because the other one, you just need to make some knots and you make the tube go in, and this. I could never make those knots look okay. Never. They used to be, one was bigger, one was smaller, and one was never till the end. There was always a little bit of a stray. And and I was like, woof, there has to be some other method, because honestly, some of us do not enjoy the tube. Some of us do not enjoy the look of so many strings, that you have to fix. We don't, honestly. And I said, like, okay, there's gotta be something. Like I said, take a little bit off here. Alrighty. Now, again, let's dry it out. We're going for low heat as well this time, not high heat. And I was like, what? And it never looked okay. And I used to make so many knots because I always thought it would be, I'll need to make, they'll get undone, and and I was like, I hate the way it looks. I really, really hated the way it looks. It was driving me crazy. And you are limited to the amount of rows that you can add. However, this way, when you see it that it tries to not change shape, but it tries to make little waves, just come down and press it. This is why it's important to use low heat, not high heat. High heat will just twist it. I learned this the hard way. I did a project with a resin and I used high heat. First of all, it didn't dry completely, and secondly, it twisted it so much that I had to throw it away. I couldn't do anything with it. Now your only job is to open this bad boy. I don't have a method. I hate opening them. They never open like they should. But I have tried a variation of them. I think the one that always works for me is the one where I use my scissors. Okay. These ones are destroyed. Alrighty. Okay. So use your scissors to open them just a little bit. You also need like some sort of spatula, for crying out loud. Now, let's figure it out later. Now, let's focus. Let's move back in. And, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is dry. Okay? What we're going to do now is cut. Cut with confidence because it will not open now. So yay, take the scissors that you think will do the best job. In my opinion, this is mine. Although I can tell you, I don't have that good of a record with scissors. I bought many varieties, and Now, because you did things a little differently, you don't have all those knots to worry about. You don't. So we're gonna release, we're gonna take all that crap that we have. You see, this looks a little bit more decent. Let's just put it like this. Cut it as much as you can. So let me cut it as much as I can, and I'll come back and I'll show you how I make this completely disappear. Okay, so this is the best we could do. Now, the ones here, they're not important because they're gonna get covered. But the ones here are important. So what you do, oh, we are gonna zap those bad boys, okay? I need to see because it doesn't. The only bad part about this is it. You see? This is what it does compared to this. So you're not going to see anything because when you're going to come with a little bit of resin on top of it because you're going to need it. Okay? You're not even going to see any of this. So let me finish at the other side, and we're going to go and put after. Okay, hold on. My camera is off and not working properly anymore. Apparently, there's a limit to how many pictures you can take. After you finish this, now open this as much as you can, okay? And then just slide this part through it, okay? Slowly, don't force it. Once you are done sliding this in its place, we're gonna add an extra layer, like you see here, of resin on the top, so we won't have any thread showing, and make sure that we put a little bit of extra resin also on this one. I made the bump here, don't look at it, extra here, so it will get connected, so there will be no more. This can go away and it cannot be moved. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. Just be gentle with the resin, make sure you don't go all over, and if you have, come and wipe it off. This is why this tool is a genius. Okay, you can find it, it's cheap, I think it's $1 if I'm not mistaken. Okay, most of these things are from this is nail shop. The mat is the nail shop, the lamp, only this is not. Okay, this is from the craft store. I don't know where you buy this in the States and which quantities. If people try to convince you like you should buy huge quantities, you never know when you're gonna need it. They're gonna be like, no, I don't need that much. I do jewelry, I don't do tons of these things. If you're thinking of putting it over your brick stitch, you can. Be careful how you do it, okay? Don't use on both sides, use just the back, because if you put over mat, you're not gonna see the mat anymore. Sorry to tell you, it's all gonna be shiny like this. So we are gonna, right now, this is almost done. Okay, you see all the resin has sipped in it, and you can't move the beads. They're not gonna fall now unless you're gonna break it, because now is basically what happens is you can actually break it, the whole thing. So you're gonna add your little thing, just open it widely correctly. Now I'm not gonna tell you the method is the best method and it's the greatest thing that ever lived the planet Earth. No, it's just an option. That's it. It's just another variation when you're like not in the mood to make too many knots. Okay, so remember, it's pretty easy and you get good results. And when you don't have slides, you can actually attach the hold on, let me get my other bracelet. You see this one here, let's come close. Okay, you see again, you don't see any threads. You have 3 rows which are like perfectly strong, and this is a little bit of a different. This is also resin, but it's more like Play-Doh. Okay, again, it is used for nails. So I was able to make this little thing, you see, in both ends, and attach this one. Once decided, it will not come off. I will most likely destroy everything if I pull it. So this is more like having, I'll show you immediately now how it looks, if I can have it, if it's anywhere near me. Yeah. Okay, this is how it's called. Please do not kill me. Okay, and now where did I open it from? Because I did open it. Okay, you see, this is pretty tough. But the thing is, you can mold it, and you can actually mold it with your hand. You see, this is the best part. This, again, this is used for nails if you want to make decorations on top of the nails. But it could be good also when we use it for making, this is functional gel, it's called Russian functional gel, and try to look for it on AliExpress or whatever you were looking for. So this is what gave us this part. Okay, you see this little bump here that you can actually connect something to it, because if it's not moldable, you see the regular resin is liquid, so it will fall off. But if you have a little bit of molding power, why not? You can add some sparkles inside. You can, I don't know, color it. If you're bothered by the way this looks, no problem, come with make it sure it's a different kind of color. You have today the options to color your resin in any color you want. Okay, so you can make it any color you want. Just experiment a little bit before you continue, and this will not get yellow, and it will last a long time. And make sure you have your hands clean, because these were white beads, and you can see that if you I didn't have my hands clean, it would be definitely not so nice. And now this was an alternative. I didn't want to use anything else, didn't want to use a, this is why I made this method, because I did not want to use the knotting. I knotted it here and it was starting to look bizarre, and I was like, shh, I don't like it. And I think this is just, like I said before, it's an option for those of you who don't want to see or don't want to do all those knots. You can still use the slide tube. It does not prevent you. It just helps you use even different sides of tubes, because right now you can see I'm here, I'm bare. You can't see the threads or anything because they disappear eventually. So you're gonna kill them until they're gone. Okay, and you don't have to be worried that they're gonna fall off or something is gonna happen. So think about it. Try it. You don't like it, try it on a small bracelet that you don't like, or one that has I don't know, that you can actually experiment with and be like, oh, well, I don't like the way it came out, and then you'll be like, okay, I tried, I'm not gonna try it again. Don't try something that you really, really love. Okay, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to send me a message. Don't send me here on YouTube, because I don't get them as quickly as I should. You can always find me on Facebook, message me on Facebook, message me on Etsy, message me on Instagram. I answer most of the time. If I see it, I'll answer it. So that's about it. I hope you like it. If you do, please click the like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.